Hey friends, Christine here. Thanks for popping over. This video is a kit tips tutorial on using the Victorian ladies hidden journal card, postcard tags, whatever you want to call them. And what we've got is a large postcard size background and Victorian women in all of their splendor. And all of this embellishment was of course added, doesn't come with the kit, but I show you how to create these hidden journal cards. So here you have journaling space, or you can glue this in so that it comes out as a card on its own. For this set, for me, because of what I want to do with them, I'm leaving them free so that they come out both sides. But then you can see here, you could just line up the little corners on the photo. Oops, I missed. And it looks like a photo and a postcard. And it's all hidden, secret. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And I apologize a little in advance because I had a headache the entire time I was making the card. So I'm a little low energy. But it's a really fun kit, easy technique to do. And for me, it was fun, especially because, you know me, I'm not all that froofy. And it was fun to get a little bit girly, if I can say that, because I don't typically go for, you know, a lot of embellishment. I'm more of a grunge girl, but this was a lot of fun, and I think it really served the purpose and really furthered that Victorian feel. And just so you know, you don't have to make any of the hidden cards. This is just a regular card made from the kit. So it's all however you like it, but it's easy and fun, and I just wanted to be able to show customers how you work with the material in the kit. So, okay. I'm going to suggest that if you have, oops, little feathers, if you have some photo corners, you just use them. I've got some black ones and some white ones. If you don't, I've included in the kit a little page where you can create your own. So that's what we're doing here. So we're making some scores, and I would really suggest you do it because, well, they're tiny. And getting the folds straight will be kind of a drag. I think so anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and score all of these because it'll make life simpler. Even though I'm only going to make 4. Okay, and then once you've scored, you just have to cut them out. So that's where the tedious part comes. And it's not that bad. So you want to cut around the artwork. So we're going to need 4 of them. Four. Okay, and then we want to cut out the little corners. Or not. No, it's your call. Okay, there we go. And then I would definitely dirty up the edges. All right, so this was printed on regular 30 HP Premium 32. So now we simply fold the little flap. Let's see if I can make this big enough so you can see it. You can see them here. Come on, zoom in. There you go. So you can see there's a little detail on there. And so I would fold the little flap in and the big flap in, and I would put the little flap behind the big flap. Then you have less to get stuck in there when you try to put the image in. So again, just kind of, and then you're just going to glue that. You're going to glue this flap. And there you have it. Fold and fold, and definitely do a little of the edges. All right, so that was the hardest part of making this kit. So then, let me close up this glue for a second. Now we're going to move on to making the card. Okay, so you're going to have lots of decisions to make, and there are all sorts of different styles that come with the kit. The larger one is the actual card shape. So for the actual card itself, 4.5 by 6-ish, 6.5-ish. You'll see the bigger ones are that big, and then the smaller size is for the insert. Okay. So then we're just going to cut them out. Of course, I'm going to score everything first, so I'm just going to go ahead off camera and cut out around the artwork, score down the middle of both the small and the large. Okay, I've done my cutting, and you can get rid of this for now. And so now I want to, the first thing I'm going to do is seal up the card. And we do that very simply by, I go right up the seam just to give that a little bit of fortification, and then come across as close to the edge as possible with a very thin bead. Maybe not that close. There we go. And close it up. And give it a little love so that it's all sealed up. You want all of the edges nicely sealed. Okay, easy enough. It's not sealed here. And then I round the corners, and for the larger card I do the 1/2 inch, the larger corner. Yep, I didn't like that one. There we go. And then ink. I'm going to ink. Okay, so now our lovely lady here is going to go here, but the easiest thing to do is to put on the corners and glue the corners down in place. So now the thing to consider, let's just do this. I'm showing you with the corners that we made. It's no different with store-bought corners. In fact, it's a little bit simpler probably, because I have adhesive on the store-bought, and these we have to glue. So what I normally do is sort of just line it up and take a look at it and see where I want this. It's like, yeah, I'm going to eyeball it like that. So now I take these off and just keep the bottom ones on. And we're going to put just a little glue, just the smallest amount of glue on the corners. I'm going to put her back. And again, we're just eyeballing where she should be. Some of the patterns have a very easy way to determine center, like you can align it with different elements in the pattern. This one's a little bit more free form. Okay, so now I'm going to let that dry a little bit. And put the other ones on. And you want them not too tight. You want them kind of just casually on there, because if you make them too tight, then getting them back in later when you go to close the card gets a little tedious if you're like, if they're very, very tight on here. So there we go, like so. She looks a little crooked. Let's straighten her out. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing. My glue is burping. we're going to do the same thing. I can move this out of the way, that's distracting. And just put the simplest, tiniest little glue here. Just enough to keep the corner down. Okay, now that's a problem. You see that glue going right across? We do not want that. We don't want anything resembling glue on the actual photo. So just putting a little glue just there on the corner without the spider webs. Okay, now we're going to put this back down. And like I said, we don't want them too tight. Just, you know, good corners. And press. Alright, so now we want to take her out. But now we know where our corners are. So now we're going to cut the card. So for that, what I normally do is, you can see here in this one, I don't cut straight across. I cut in a circle or a squiggle or anything that'll help align the card this way. See this? So this way the card is less apt to move back and forth. If I had cut it straight across, this would be able to move. I didn't even line her up this way. And we don't want that. We don't want the card to be able to adjust. We want it to look like it's, you know, fake, like hidden, like you can't see it. So we don't want it like that, and that's what could happen if you cut it straight across. So now here I have to decide. Here's another one I did, and I just kind of free-formed it, but it allows me, when I put her back in, that the card is less likely to shift side to side. The top and the bottom are less likely to shift. So that's what we're doing. So I'm going to come down, and all you have to do is miss your corners. You do have to make sure they go all the way through. There we go. Okay, easy enough, right? So now you could take this and just for fun, stick it in here. We'll talk about this in a second, but it helps to keep it stable when you glue her back down. Come on. Thank you. Okay, so you see what I mean? So here, if this were a straight line, these two could shift independently, but because there's just even the smallest curve catching it, it will stay more in place. Okay, so now I'm going to double check that our corners are good. I think they are. There we go. Beautiful. Now we're going to hold everything in place. We lift up the bottom and glue her down here. She goes right smack, glue it right straight down. Putting her back in the corners. There we go. And so now we just wait for a second and we'll let that dry. So while that's drying, we could take this off actually and deal with this. Set that aside to dry. So for this, you could have it as a journal card that you open up and write in, or you could glue it closed and have it just as a two-sided postcard or tag. So this, of course, is driving me nuts. So I'm going to trim it. See that white stripe there? We can't have that. There we go. All right, and I'm going to round the corners. For the card on the inside, I use just the little one. Just for a little. And of course I would ink it. Okay, so the next decision you have to make is whether you're going to glue it in, which you can. You can glue this right into the top, and then it always comes out with the top. Now, I tend to not do that. I tend to leave it, I want more space to write, so I tend to leave it open so I can write more. Okay, so now let's line up our corners. There we go. Beautiful. So that's the general construction of this. Now we pull this out. This comes with it. So now we can take this out and open it up. Again, you could glue it closed and glue it into the top. I'm not going to do that. I have a very specific purpose for this one, so I'm not doing that. And she could get actually a little bit more glue here, because as long as it's she's sticking up where she needs to, which is just these corners, we are good. See, things we have to do on camera. It goes in much easier than that, kids. Okay, so now we just, again, line that up. And then in terms of decoration, well, that is entirely up to you. But you can see some of the ways I decorated the others. I just used some lace and some little doodads from some sewing trim, and this was some other craft trim and some feathers. And I took a little ink and I put some colors on the feathers. And these are just little white feathers here that I had from a pack of craft feathers. And they're not all white, but I use mainly white. I was going to use this color on one of them. And then I just, you know, I have some little bows and things and little sparkly things if you want some bling, like she's got some bling. So that's what I would do to her, to our new woman here. But I'm going to let you do that creatively on your own and explore all the options for making some really fun, frilly, Victorian feeling, fluffy cards with hidden journal pockets in them. So I'm thinking we should decorate our new friend because, I mean, everybody else is decorated. So let's see. This lace could work. That's kind of nice. Maybe I want to tint it a little blue. No, I'm going to leave it plain. And what else do we have? We have this gold. That could work. All right. Good. I'm really into feathers with this project, so why don't we give her a feather too? And then maybe a more monochromatic bow, but it really picks up colors in this card. And she's going to need some bling of some sort. I'm not sure what it will be. Well, that's kind of fun. What do we think? Maybe something blingier. Let's see what we've got here. Too pink. Yeah, we don't want a pink one. Yeah, this one will work. Oh, this works well. It picks up the yellows, the greens, the blues. Okay, so then it's just a matter of decorating. And all I'm going to do is grab my glue. I think I'm going to, on some of them, not that one. On this one, for example, I went all the way around, but for this one, I'm not going to. And I'm just going to sort of measure it here to here and cut it right now. Okay, so now I'm going to put a little glue on each of these to help hold it down. That's probably enough. I'm going to come a little bit along this top edge to try and hold that down as well. Doesn't have to stay down too much, but, and then because I have no idea if I measured that right, let's say, now, keep in mind that once you do this, you can't take this woman out. Well, I guess you can't take her out of this card anyway because it's glued in. But for those of you who are just making the card without the hidden compartment and don't glue in the picture, then once you do this, she's glued down, which you probably would have guessed, or at least discovered at some point. So now, I'm going to press this down. And this glue we definitely have to let dry. So that's going to take a second. All right, let's see how we're doing here. I think we're good enough. I think we could go on. So now I'm going to trim this to the edge on each side. Ah. All right, lovely. Now we're going to add a little gold. Right, isn't that what I said? A little gold. So that's easy. Do we center it? No, let's do it a little higher. I'm going to do it up here. Same thing, same glue. I'm using the glitter glue. I'm just going to add some to this. And try not to overdo it, but have enough on that will keep it secure. I'm going to smear it out so that it's even. Now we're going to see where that glue actually is and put it up here. Hey, behave. Oh, come on. You're going to be a pain. Don't be a pain. You're going to be a pain. That was plenty of glue. This ribbon seems to want more glue, so we're giving it more glue. Fine. I'm not arguing with people today. Okay, more glue. Oh, stop. So this glue. Kids, meaning you, the ribbon. What's up with this? All right, so I'm going to use my bone folder and see if I can't encourage it further. And then give this ribbon a little time to dry. I'm going to come in here and make sure there's something on the edge for it to grab onto, because that will matter. We don't want it pulling off the edge. There we go. So let's let that dry a minute or two, or 5 or 10. All right, let's see how we're doing here. Not entirely dry yet. I can tell because I can move it. So let's give it more time. I think so. All right, so same thing. I'm going to cut, but with my adhesive scissors, because I don't know if there's glue on that end. But the adhesive scissors are terrible. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so now what do we have? Let's see. We have a bow. Oh, the feather. The feather. Now I'm deciding whether I want to leave it white or add a little color to it. Yeah, I think we could add a little color to it. So the colors I have out that I've been playing with here are these two. Let's say, I think I'd rather stay along the blue. You know, she's got some blue in here. Because the pink, well, there's coral in there as well, but I'm going to do blue. So I have my little jobber here, and I need a piece of scrap. And I'm just going to try and hit the edges just a little. Well, that was maybe more than I expected there. But you see, just a little bit. Give them a little pop. Nice. Yeah, that looks good. Sometimes it's those little things that make a project work. Alright, so now we just need to glue this down, and guess what? We're going to have to wait for it to dry. But I'm going to go ahead and do it, and then do them all. So do we want her to have it up? Oh, I like that. Yeah, we're going to have it up. So I'm going to actually put it on the feather. And then decide where exactly. I think about there. And stick that back down. Give that time to dry. And then we're going to add a bow to here. I'll trim it later. So let's see. Some glue. Don't want to be too shy with the glue. I do want it to stay stuck. Put it like that. That's sweet. I almost don't want to put the bling, but I feel like she does need a little bling. It's hard for me to see in this light. You know, I don't know if she does. At least not this. Maybe a pearl. Alright, so I have some silver. I have these black ones that go well with the corners. And they're little. Let's see if we like this. No, it's too dark. And these are pretty happening. Whenever I open these, it's a nightmare. I'm not kidding, I always get it the wrong way. And then too many of them come out. Or I have it upside down. Okay, we're going there. I like that. Alright, so now it's just come here, little gem. I know, I need one of those things for picking them up. Just adding a little glue. Whoop. Or a lot of glue. Drop it right on my finger. Why do people even watch me? But I thank you for doing so. There we go. Alright, so now of course all of this has to dry, and then we're done. I'll trim the ribbon, and now all of our lovely ladies have adequate decoration. So there you have it. Easy. Making the cards is easy. Everything is easy. That's why I love this project, and it's beautiful, and it's romantic and soft and delicate and very un-Christine. She's usually a little grungy and dark, but this is a great little kit. And again, you can still do the same concept with any papers you like, any photos, any backgrounds. I mean, I've done actually a couple of these with my own other papers. So like here's one. This was one with a bingo card. So just to show you, and here's one where the card is actually stuck in. So, yeah, there is no limit. Just go, create, be awesome.